Good evening and welcome to another episode of Grassroots Vegan. I'm David Kelly. So today is the first day of my 3-month 100% raw challenge presented to me on OK Raw by Dr. Robert Lockhart. So why am I doing this and what is my health status? And what do I really think about cooked food? Well, first of all, the reason why I'm doing this is not because I somehow have had this realization that Dr. Lockhart has convinced me that yes, eating cooked food is wrong and I need to go 100% raw. So it's not for that, but I guess what it is, I thought it would be interesting to do an experiment here. So basically, I'm going to be playing the guinea pig. And what I'm doing is I am going to do this challenge of being 100% raw for the next 3 months. And I'm going to keep a daily log of my progress. And I have, so this is my log here, basically. It's a notebook, pretty basic, low tech. I've got 4 columns, and in those columns I have diet, so that's basically what I'm keeping a record of what I eat and how many calories I consume in the day. This is exercise, so what kind of physical activity I'm getting in the day. Digestion, how many shits I have in the day. And also not just how many, but the quality, very important. Sleep, also extremely important. What is the quality of my sleep? You see, Dr. Robert Lockhart claims that the longer you go 100% raw, now when he's talking about 100% raw, he's talking about a predominantly fruitarian diet, so mostly whole, ripe, tropical fruits. And this is where he's going with this. With green vegetation as well, leafy green vegetation, but he keeps it, from what the gist that I'm getting from him is that he keeps it pretty simple. He eats his foods mostly whole. I don't think he's into the blending or into the juicing or anything like that. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the impression that I got. So this is what I am going to practice over the next 3 months, is a predominantly fruitarian, 100% raw, and even my greens, my green vegetables, I will eat only those that you can eat without having to do any kind of manipulation or food preparation. So it would be mostly like romaine lettuce, baby spinach, and any kind of greens that are easy to chew and digest without cooking or without blending or without juicing or whatever. So I am your guinea pig for the next 3 months, and I'm going to post a video. I'm going to try to post a video every day so that you can follow the progress, and it'll be interesting to see where I am in 3 months from now. Maybe I might, through this process, have this great revelation and realize, yes, 100% raw is the only way. This is it, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm open to that possibility. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Before doing this challenge, I've already been a vegan for 7 years, and very early on, as a vegan, I started doing the low-fat vegan, mostly cooked. And then later I discovered 80-10-10 and embraced that into my lifestyle. And I've done 100% raw off and on. I've gone for as long as 6 months 100% raw. Then I went back to eating cooked and doing more of a raw to fork style, even before the term raw to fork was even around. And then recently, in the last, I guess, 4 months or so, I've been doing mostly raw, where I will go, let's say a few days, 4 days, maybe 5 days, eating 100% raw, and then having cooked some cooked food. So no real rhyme or reason or system in place, but more or less just trying to eat as healthy as I can possibly eat, mostly raw, and but also having that option to eat cooked food, because I'll be quite honest with you, I like cooked food. Now, so that's basically that's my background. Now, what about my health? What is the status of my health? Well, I can say in all honesty, it's not perfect. And the reason being is because I came to this lifestyle with a background of neglect and abuse that involved alcohol, that involved cigarettes, that involved over-the-counter drugs, it involved some illegal drugs, it involved high salt foods, junk foods. You get the picture here, right? I mean, I was living a pretty hard life. And I'm actually quite grateful to be alive today, for one thing, because I'm convinced, had I not come to this lifestyle when I did, there's a very good chance that I may not be here. And I have friends that are my age that are not here anymore because of the lifestyle that they lived. Or if they are here, some of them have heart disease, diabetes, or both. And so anyways, so what are some of my health issues? Well, the most obvious is my eyesight. These glasses are not just bifocals, they're trifocals. My eyesight started to diminish in my early 40s, and by my late 40s, there was no other option but to get glasses. And even after getting glasses, my eyes still deteriorated to some degree. And also my right eye has a cataract, not in need of surgery yet, but it will be only a matter of time where I will require surgery to correct the cataract. So there's that. Then I also have what is called tinnitus, and that's ringing in the ear, and it's in my right ear. It's funny, my right eye, my right ear. In fact, when I stop, I can hear the ringing in my ear. It's pretty much present most of the time, and I've had this since probably 2004. And I remember being out on the beach one day. It started off, I had a cold, and I was out on the beach with my family, and then this ringing started, and I thought it would go away. It was just a part of the cold I had, and it just never went away. And there's times when it gets very intense. And I guess you could compare it to an intense headache, but there's no pain involved. Now, I'm able to manage this, so I haven't really done anything to try to find a solution to the ringing in the ear. I've had my ear checked. I've been checked up by specialists, and they have found no anomalies in my ear area, and so it's a very strange kind of condition. A lot of people have it, but there's really no real explanation why it's there, and it's almost like it's not there because you can't really observe it. But if you have it, you know what I'm talking about. And for some people, it's torture. But for me, it's not that way. I don't know. For the most part, I'm not even aware of it. It's when I stop doing stuff and I'm in a quiet place that I notice it. So there's that. Dry, itchy skin. That's another problem that I had before I came to this lifestyle. It was really bad at one point, and I had to use steroid creams to keep it under control because I'd have these major breakouts all over my body. Now, and for quite a while now, I haven't used any kind of steroid creams. It's there. It's worse in the winter than it is in the summer. It could be because of the quality of the air. I don't know. But I've been to a dermatologist and had it checked out and that. And again, it's like nobody really understands specifically why I have this condition, but I'm convinced that, you know, your body, your skin is one of the detoxifying organs of your body. And if your other, and it's kind of like a backup, if your other organs are not, like your liver, like your kidneys, are not detoxifying effectively, then your skin's going to take up the slack. And this is what I believe is going on, that through the years of abuse and neglect, there's definitely been some damage done there. And will that ever be completely repaired? I don't know. It would be nice to think so, but I don't know. So there is that. So, you know, then there's the fact that I am 54 years old. I'm going to be 55 in less than a couple of months. And, oh no, sorry, a little bit more in November, early November, I'll be 55. And the reality is I'm past that halfway point. Unless I'm going to live to be 110 or 120, I'm halfway past my lifespan. And so no matter how healthy I can get now, the reality is I am aging. And that's a fact. And at some point, my body is going to say it's enough, it's over, it's going to fall apart, and I'm going to die. That's reality. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to do whatever I can to postpone that and live the highest quality life as possible. But it's there, you know. This is one thing, when you hit a certain age, you realize, whoa, it doesn't go on forever. When you're younger, it just seems like it goes on forever. Believe me, it doesn't. So all of that being said, how do I feel about cooked food? I think there are certain kinds of cooked food that are definitely unhealthy for you, and that's highly processed foods, foods that are cooked at really high heats, or foods that are cooked in saturated fats, deep frying, foods, barbecuing, frying. There's, you know, a certain way, basically burning your food or searing your food, I think is unhealthy. There is the consequence of the toxic byproduct acrylamide, which is a carcinogen. We don't know yet fully what the health risks are with acrylamide, but that reality is there, and we will find out probably in another year or so what how dangerous that carcinogen really is. Then, but I think, you know, and then there's the kinds of foods that you cook too. Are you eating animal-based foods? But if you're eating plant-based foods and you're cooking at a low heat, like steaming, or just simmering at low heat, I think that you can eat cooked food, get the nutritional benefits from that food, and live a healthy, vibrant life. So that being said, now, Dr. Robert Lockhart said after 3 months, eat a cooked meal and see how you feel. With more or less, he's convinced that, you know, after doing 100% raw, if you try eating a cooked meal after 3 months, you're not going to feel very good about it if you're truly honest with yourself. That may be true, but I don't see that as being a scientific measure that can determine anything about cooked food. Because if you're coming to 100% raw from an American standard diet, I can almost assure you, you're not going to feel very good at first. You're going to go through some serious detoxification, and you could come up with the conclusion that, well, you know, eating fruits and vegetables is making me sick. This is not good. I'm going back to the way I was eating before. And I know people who this happened to. They decided to go 100% raw, 80-10-10 style, and they became really ill quickly and they couldn't see it through. They gave it up and they just went back to the way they were eating before. So does that mean that eating 100% raw is unhealthy for you? No, of course not. And so this is where this can be a little bit misleading. That just, the reality is, if you're eating 100% raw for a serious length of time and then you suddenly eat a cooked meal, of course your body's going to react in a certain way to that cooked food. It's not used to it. And it may not feel good at first, but that does not, you can't draw from that the conclusion that cooked food is bad. So I'm just putting that out there. Anyways, so I've begun the challenge today. I will share with you what I have logged. So with diet, I started the morning off with 12 oranges, and then for lunch I had 3 peaches, 2 apples, 10 bananas. For dinner I had cucumber, tomatoes mixed in, red pepper as well, mixed in with baby spinach and green sprouts. And then for dessert, I had grapes and 10 dates. And my total caloric intake for today was about 2,035 calories. Exercise, I did not go out for a run today. Today was a day of rest, so I have nothing for exercise. Bowel movement, digestion. I had a bowel movement before breakfast. It was a nice consistency, solid but soft. After breakfast, I had another bowel movement, and this one was more watery and lumpy. And then the last bowel movement I had was, it was actually, at this point, it was the oranges that I ate for breakfast were coming out. So it was a yellow ochre color, and it was loose and mushy and with a touch of mucus. So I would not consider those healthy bowel movements. The first one was, but the other 2 were not. And it could have had to do with the fact that the sleep I had that night was pretty poor. Last night I went to bed and my mind was heavily stimulated with thoughts, and so I just couldn't get to sleep. It took me forever to get to sleep, and then when I did get to sleep, I was waking up like every half hour. So I had a terrible night's sleep. I went to bed at around 11:30, didn't get to sleep until, I'm not sure what time, but it was definitely after 12:30. It was probably approaching 1 o'clock, 1:30. So a disruptive sleep, and I woke up at around 8. Not ideal, and I think that kind of upset my system. I did have an afternoon nap for about half an hour, and then I had another nap again for about 15 minutes after dinner. So that has basically, this is where things are today on the first day of 100% raw. And stay posted for tomorrow for how things will go then. And subscribe to my channel, leave a comment if you like, and share this video. Take care, and talk to you soon. Bye.